Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This is your latest transfer news as we have an update on why Declan Rice isn't officially an Arsenal player yet. We'll also be talking about Harry Kane, Man City and Chelsea fighting it out for a midfielder, and exciting news around Chiesa and his potential to come to the Premier League and the battle that's going to take place between three top six sides to bring him to the Premier League. Look, I love football. That's why I do That's Football. I support Manchester United. We all support who we support, but I love football. And the fact that we're getting these types of players coming into the Premier League is so exciting. So we're going to talk about Chiesa as well. But before we get into all of that, I've got some really exciting news for you from Manscaped, who are sponsoring our stream. Now, as you know, Manscaped, as we've promoted it for years, is about what goes on down there. You know, it's trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. But we've got some exciting new news because Manscaped is introducing beard products. They've changed the game and they're going for the revolutionary beard hedger. Shaping your new unique beard look from a tidy trim to a fresh shave has never been easier. And the Manscaped beard hedger eradicates all your stubble trouble. It's got different lengths on it there. I mean, I normally like to go, you know, I like a bit of stubble, but it's a bit long at the moment. I need to get working on it. But lots of different lengths on there for your beard trimmer. It's a tool of simplicity, offering 20 different beard lengths at your fingertips. So while the beard hedger caters to all beard lengths, it has a unique feature for our clean-shaven viewers as well. The hedger is equipped with advanced lift comb technology, ensuring a smooth, complete shave. And yes, this beast, and it is a beast, is waterproof as well. So what are you waiting for? Get 20% off and free shipping with the code footy at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Not just for downstairs trimming your grass to make your yard look bigger. And a big shout out to Manscaped for sending me all the beard stuff as well. But it's this baby that's going to get some use straight after this video because I do need a shave and I'm very excited to use it. It actually goes down to a 0.5 beard trimmer as well. The one I've got upstairs goes to a 1, so I can have an even tighter shave. Thank you very much to Manscaped. Check yours out. Links in the description or scan the QR code. Right, from one bit of exciting news to another. Let's get on. I want to talk about Chiesa, but let's talk about Declan Rice first of all. Why is he not an Arsenal player yet? Because West Ham are still negotiating with Arsenal the finer details of the contract. I actually expected Declan Rice to officially be an Arsenal player last Monday. It's now this Tuesday. It's a weird one. I mean, look, I wouldn't be too worried about it if I'm Arsenal. It will happen, and he is a fantastic signing. But obviously, pre-season starts to kick in. He could have had he wouldn't have been training till this week anyway, because this is the week where a lot of players are going back who were involved in internationals. But they do need to get it moving along a little bit. I've not heard that it's going to be an issue, but apparently it's just the finer details of the contract that West Ham want to get some, changes done to. And Declan Rice officially an Arsenal player will presumably then happen, because it is a big week. It is a big week across the Premier League and the transfer market anyway, because of course the international players are coming back into training this week, which means meetings are taking place between managers and players. We heard from the new Spurs manager yesterday. He was asked about Harry Kane and he basically said, we're not discussing what's going to happen. That's quite open. He's a Spurs player at the moment. We want him to stay, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely staying. And I think that that's a really interesting thing in relation to Harry Kane, isn't it? Look, I don't know what's going to happen with Harry Kane. My personal feeling is that he should be chasing trophies, not goal scoring records at Spurs, but it's up to him what he does. And Spurs, I can see both sides. Do you cash in and take some money, or do you lose him in a year for nothing? I mean, I sometimes think you're better off taking the money and starting the project that you're going to have to start in a year's time anyway. But some Spurs fans think he might sign a new contract next year. I don't see Spurs getting anywhere near top 6. So why would he sign a new contract? And I'm just going to keep saying this. Spurs, Harry Kane, Chelsea. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just think Chelsea would love to do that deal. I think Pochettino would love to do that deal. I think Kane, it's hard to say whether Kane would do it. Spurs obviously wouldn't, but I still do think that Chelsea, Kane, maybe not this year, maybe next year, but I do see it happening. And if you're Spurs, I've not heard anybody say this. Well, there's no way we're going to sell Harry Kane to Chelsea. There's just no way it's going to happen. In a year's time, you can't stop it happening. So would you wait a year to see him play at Chelsea for nothing? or would you take the money now? I mean, look, Kane's got the power if he wants to wait a year. Talking about Chelsea and talking about the power, though, I want to talk about Liverpool and Lavia in a moment, but let me just talk about Chiesa. This is so exciting. So Juventus have issues. I think it was a couple of days ago that they did a deal with UEFA not to play in the Conference League because of sanctions or something that they've done wrong. We know they've had their problems in Serie A as well. They're gonna, I don't know whether they have to sell, but ultimately there'll be players there that probably want to play in the Champions League and they can't. So Chiesa has been mentioned as a player. I mean, he's still only 25, Chiesa as well. He's been linked to Newcastle, exchanging the black and white of Juve for the black and white of Newcastle. He's been linked to Liverpool, and he has now been linked to Chelsea. I would love to see Chiesa in the Premier League. Now, I'm not saying he's Neymar. I'm not saying he's Mbappe. I'm not saying he's Mo Salah or that sort of consistent winger, but he is a winger with a brilliant shot on him, and I think he would suit the way the Premier League is, and I'd love to see him playing in the Premier League. Now, he's obviously not going to be playing for Manchester United, my team, but I always use the Zola example. When he went to Chelsea, I watched Chelsea because I like Zola. I don't support Chelsea, but I like Zola, and I think that same with Tonali at Newcastle. I think that when these types of players come into the Premier League, it benefits the Premier League. So I'm really intrigued to see who's going to win that transfer battle. I mean, look, he could end up going to Bayern Munich or somewhere like that, I suppose, but looking good for him coming into the Premier League. Where do you think he'll end up? I think wherever he ended up, he would be a real asset. It's about, I suppose it's about who and where he suits best. I mean, look, he would start for Newcastle. Definitely he would start for Newcastle. He's that good. I think if he went to Liverpool, they don't really need him this season. I don't see Liverpool doing that deal unless they're looking longer term. You know, Salah's not getting any younger. They might look longer term. And Chelsea, again, I mean, Chelsea have an abundance. I still think Chelsea still have an abundance of attacking midfielders and wingers. And people will say, we've got rid of this player, this player's not good enough. But there is still an area of uncertainty about how he's going to line up his team, Pochettino. And look, I can see him at Chelsea, Italian connections, London. You can see it happening, but definitely keep an eye on that one. I think Chiesa is a really interesting player. Another player to keep an eye out with Chelsea as well is the Celta Vigo midfielder. Is it Gabriel Vega? Chelsea and Manchester City looking at him, really widely regarded, talented midfielder. And expectation is that he could be the next import into the Premier League, and Manchester City and Chelsea looking at it. Liverpool were apparently interested, but apparently they're going to step away from it, and it'll be Chelsea or Manchester City. I still think Man City will bring more players in. Man City have this problem that despite being the best team in the world and they've just won a treble, they just don't attract the headlines of a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Chelsea or a Man United when it comes to transfers. But I still do think that Man City will do some more business. And Liverpool, look, whether they were in that race or not, Lavia is still very much what Liverpool are looking at. They're looking at a more defensive-minded midfielder that can replace Fabinho or challenge Fabinho. Jordan Henderson, I think, will become the Milner of that team, who is a bit part player but experienced and happy to do that role. And they do need somebody that's going to come in and be that defensive midfielder, and Lavia is the player that they're looking at. I just think it comes down to the price and whether they can get a good price out of him. And as I said, I don't believe Arsenal are done yet. I still think, we spoke about Declan Rice, didn't we? Arsenal need 4 midfielders. I know Jorginho came in, but there's even rumours of him going. Jacques has already gone. Thomas Partey feels like he'll go. I just don't feel like he's going to stay. Whatever the issues around Thomas Partey, it feels like the uncertainty about whether they're going to keep him or not suggests that they might move him on, which would mean that their midfield is basically Declan Rice and whatever else they've got. I do definitely think Arsenal have got to go for another midfielder if they're going to remove Partey. And I think that they would be looking at Lavia. I mean, they were looking at Caicedo. They were speaking to Declan Rice back in January. So I do think Arsenal will do another midfield signing, and I think Lavia could be a very interesting one. So watch this space. Managers back with international players now discussing their futures. I think we're going to see an increase in activity. Anyway, don't forget Manscaped. This is fantastic. I'm so excited to use it. They've got a beard trimmer now. Use the code FOOTY, 20% off, free worldwide shipping. Links in the description. You can still get your Lawnmower 4.0 as well. Take care, everyone. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.